All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. So, the big headline today, before I get to my little promos here, is Mick Jagger turns 80 years old. That is crazy. All right. You know what's kind of crazy too is the fact that a band from Sweden would send me their album, Grand Design. Their album is called Rock. And if you like the music of Def Leppard and TNT and say you play them simultaneously, you'll get something that sounds like Grand Design. Yeah, without all of the cacophony of playing two things at once. So here's the back cover too. Great band. Autograph. See that? It's autographed. That's because I'm so important. You know who's really important? Modern Retro Radio. ModernRetroFM.com. Great radio station. They have the courage over there to play music that no other radio station is currently playing because they're independently owned and operated, and they're not part of some giant corporate conglomerate, which basically is destroying the radio industry. But these guys, they love music. They love being DJs. They have a lot of fun over there. They joke around. They talk. They do what I used to do when I was on the radio. I had fun, played great music, and had fun. That's the way it was supposed to be, not just doing PSAs for the Kiwanis Club. You know, it's just ridiculous. I don't want to know about what's going on. The community calendar, I could give whatever. I don't really care. I was going to say something bad. But I want to say something good about Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger made it to 80, but he's had a controversial life to some degree. 80 years old. Do you think the Beatles are better than the Stones, or the Stones are better than the Beatles? That's the Patreon question. If you're over on Patreon and you want to weigh in and tell me why you think the Stones are better or why the Beatles are better. This is just a question for, rock historians and for people who have followed these bands over the years. Of course, the Beatles went out of commission back in 1971, right? So the Stones are still going strong. And rumor has it that they're going to continue. Now, they've had, 60 years? So they've built up a little following over 60 years. They've had 9 number one albums and 8 number one singles, selling over 200 million records. And yes, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989, back when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was honoring rock and roll. The Stones went on and did stadium gigs in the 70s, and they're still doing them now. This is Mick Jagger's argument as to why they are better than the Beatles. Jagger's personal life is pretty interesting. He's only been married once, technically, to Bianca Jagger. Remember Bianca? 1971 to 1978. 7-year marriage. He had the 7-year itch or the 7-year ache, and then he wound up with Marianne Faithfull. Apparently he wasn't faithful, and then ended up with model Jerry Hall. Now, Jagger has 8 children with 5 different women. Daughter Karis with Marsha Hunt, who he dated between 1969 and 1970. Daughter Jade with Bianca. Daughters Elizabeth and Georgia, and sons James and Gabriel with Jerry Hall. Son Lucas from his affair with model Luciana Jimenez. And son Devereaux with his current girlfriend, Melanie Hemrick, who I believe is 36 years old. And he has a son with her. So Mick Jagger, still siring children, 80 years old, and he may not be done yet. So, and he's not done being a rock star. And I'm thinking the Stones will probably go out there again. I don't know when. I've been hearing that they're working on an epic new album. So they never slow down, including Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood. It's sad that Charlie Watts is no longer here, but you can't really argue that the Stones aren't one of the best all-time bands. Some people say because of longevity, they're a better band than the Beatles, and Paul McCartney says that the Stones are just a blues band. That's all they are. The Beatles were far more. If they wanted to do a blues song, they could, but they were more interested in all of that psychedelic pop and all of the melodic stuff that they ended up doing during their short-lived existence compared to the Stones. But you may think that the Beatles' output is still better. I know there are a lot of fans of the Beatles who believe that to be true, but old-time fans of rock and roll, or old-time rock and roll fans, I think you guys appreciate the Stones maybe a little bit more than the Beatles. All right, people. So happy birthday to Mick Jagger, 80 years old. He's probably got another 50 or 60 years left based on the fact that he shows really no signs of slowing down. If you want something a little younger, though, you might want to check out Grand Design here. And their new album's called Rock, autographed copy, really nice guys from Sweden. I've got both of their albums now, and they sent them to me. I even have a t-shirt. I should have probably gotten the shirt on, but anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to support the channel. Patreon, if you can help me out over on Patreon, I really appreciate that. Also, just subscribing to the channel, YouTube memberships. Going to be putting out some membership-only content at some point. Once I get something that's a little spicy and off the grid, I will send it over to the members and they can watch it because they're members. So again, if you want to sign up, it's $2.99 a month. Don't forget though, folks, the best thing you can do is watch the videos, like the videos. We're fighting an algorithm here, and each and every day I'm surprised at how much I'm losing against the algorithm. So we just keep keeping on. We just keep on trucking, just like Mick Jagger. All right, I'm done. Talk to you soon.